afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel today? This is after lunchtime, isn't it? So you did have lunch, right? All right. You had your lunch. The question is, how do you feel today? That's a little better, but you know, not good enough. I'll tell you why. As I stand in front of you, I perceive a lot of energy. But as I hear you, I can perceive the same level of energy. So, how do you feel today? That's it. Very well. Very good. Give yourself a big hand. Terrific. I'm so proud to be in front of such a wonderful group of youngsters. And let me tell you what I see. Somebody is standing right over here and look at you and see a lot of faces. I don't see faces. I see lawyers. I see educators. I see architects, engineers, politicians. I see the future. You are the future. You will be, years from now, doing exactly what we're doing today, because you will be our leaders. And that's what I see in this group. Leaders. The leaders of the Hispanic community. The leaders of these areas and other areas throughout the United States. I represent an organization called Save Latin America. Save Latin America is a civic organization aimed at informing the Hispanic community about the many services and opportunities for growth that there are available in this country. Our people sometimes are not well informed. We take the task of informing them. The chairman of Save Latin America owns 5 newspapers. And this is one of the methods that we use to inform our community. One of the very 5 newspapers among other things. Save Latin America works through a number of commissions. We have the Education Commission, for example. The Education Commission is comprised of a group of educators, Board of Education representatives, and parents representatives. What this commission does is, among other things, we develop programs such as the one that you are witnessing today that we call Reaching Our Dreams. What this program does is we invite prominent Hispanics to share with you some of the life experiences. And you're going to see that life is not easy when our guests today, among them a judge, a lawyer, and somebody that is the vice president of Hoboken Board of Education, also the director of a big daycare center. These are Hispanic professionals. And you know what? It has not been very easy for them to become professionals, especially as Hispanics. And you will learn from their presentations the fact that life is not easy. Life is not supposed to be easy. And if anybody tells you that life is easy, that you don't have to do your homework, that you could quit school, and that life is going to be easy, believe me, those are very ill-informed people. And probably they're not your best friends. Your best friends are those who prepare you with the realities of life. And one of the realities of life is that you should be well educated. Another reality of life is that life is not easy, you have to work very hard. Well, this lady and two gentlemen are going to be sharing with you some of their life experiences, as I said before, and let me tell you what's going to happen. You teachers are going to ask you, you're going to be invited to write an essay based on your perception of their presentations. And that sounds like work, and some of you says, oh my God, here we go again. But let me tell you, when you work hard, you have to be compensated somehow. And three of you from this group, three of you are going to be invited in early March to a nice restaurant called Las Palmas in West New York. We're going to have a nice dinner and dance. You're going to bring your parents and brothers and sisters of age, and I say of age, 12, beyond 12, and then your teachers are going to be there. And these two gentlemen and lady are going to present you with a plaque to three of you. What I mean is, you will write the essay. The school administration will go through them and will pick up the 10 best essays. They're going to give them to you. And then we're going to meet as the Education Commission of Save Latin America, and we're going to pick the best 3 of those 10 that were already selected by the school administration. And the authors of those essays are going to be invited for dinner with your parents, your teachers, and some very important people, and we're going to have a wonderful night in New York. The question is, where are my 3 winners? Let's see those hands. Very good, very good. Terrific, terrific. Now make sure that you know that you make it with me to win. So let's see what we're going to see in those essays. Let me tell you that we have with us Mrs. Wanda Alicea. Wanda Alicea is a young Puerto Rican young lady. She was born in this country. Her parents come from a very humble family, I can say. But Wanda Alicea today is professional. She went to school. She went to school and had a great time. No, sir. She went to school and she went through the same problems, the same things that you're going through. And you know what? School is not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. And when you get to college, you know what? You're going to be on your own, but still it's not going to be easy. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you are going to see in college? Let me see those hands. Terrific. Terrific. Eso es lo lindo de nuestra comunidad. I'm so proud of all of you. Let me see the hands of the college, the future college students again. That's what's terrific. I'm so proud of you. Now, I'd like to bring to you Mrs. Wanda Alicea. She is director of the Union City Daycare Center, and she is also the vice chairperson of the Hoboken Board of Education. Let's give Mrs. Alicea a big hand.
proud to be an undergraduate. And it was very hard to get to where I am today. Just like it's going to be hard for many of you here. A lot of people say, oh, you go there and listen to the same nonsense. No, how, go to college, something to life. One day you remember this. And somebody, and I'm hoping it will be someone here, possibly one of the teachers, possibly one of you guidance teachers, possibly one of us, will affect you in such a way that you're going to say, you know, if it wasn't for something that person said, I may not have gone to college. I may not have gone to taking this career. So I want to share with you a little bit of my life to show you that it's not achieving things, but it's doable. If you really put your heart and your mind to it. My parents were both born in Puerto Rico. They came to the United States, New Jersey, the Bronx, and they lived here for about 20-some years. My mother had no more than 7th grade education, and my father had 1 year of high school. And they started working in the factory. They had children. First one, my oldest brother, Raymond, my other sister, Diana, myself, and my younger brother, Francis. It was 4 of us. That was really difficult. Because my father used to bring home 7 hours a week, and my mother couldn't go back to work because, of course, she had to take care of the children. One thing I do remember was that my father would get up every single morning at 4:30 to go to work. And he wouldn't get back until about 7 o'clock. Those days, it's not like today, get on the bus, get to work in 15 minutes, get to school in 10, whatever the case may be. They had to take 3 trains, a bus, and then finally get to work. But you did it because you wanted to provide your family with security. And that's what I saw. And I didn't think it was going to affect me after all those years. I really said, well, I want to be a fashion designer while I was growing up. Because I loved to draw, I loved fashion. And my mother would say, well, really concentrate on what you want to do. Because this is the decision you're going to make for the rest of your life. And you're going to have to do this every single day of your life. And if it's not something you really love to do, you're not going to succeed. So I thought about what I could do, and I decided, you know what? I hate math. I'm not good at it. I can't stand science. I'm not good at that either. I like English a little bit. Social studies, I love to draw, but I can't do that. My mom said no. But I love to talk and listen to nonsense. I know what I want to be, a social worker. I thought social workers listened to people's problems, gave them advice, and sent them on their way. Well, surprise. When I graduated from grammar school, after high school, and after high school, I went to Rutgers University. Oh, I was so proud of myself. It was a really good school, and I got in, and I didn't do so well on my SATs, but I really, really did well on my application. When I get to Rutgers, I said, my major is going to be social work. Okay, fine. Well, you have to take statistics, and you have to take English, and you have to take, I said, what? Biology, you have to take chemistry. I don't want to do these courses. I'm not be a social worker. All I want to do is listen to problems and more. This is why you can do that after 4 years. But in order to get there, you're going to have to take these courses. I said, geez, you know, I'm failing right now. I barely made it through algebra. I'm going to go through chemistry now? Okay. But I did. I said, no, I'm going to do this. Because I always remember my mother saying, don't stop. Even if you think things are really, really bad, that's when they start getting bad. I said, I'm going to try this. And I did. I graduated from Emerson University in social work. And it had absolutely nothing to do with just listening and giving advice. It had a lot to do with understanding communities, people, and making sure that decisions that are made in life are the right ones for you. I worked as a social worker for approximately 2 years. Then I worked in the maternity clinic as a director of maternity clinic. And there are experiences I never thought I would experience. I bonded with a lot of young girls. My youngest client was 12 years old. 12-year-old child having a baby. Her boyfriend was at a detention center. She presented to me as a guidance nurse, and I was her caseworker. Even though I was the director of the program, she interested me that much but I said, I'm going to take this case on. Well, Rosita was 12, and I remember so well that she would come to see me right before I left work, which was about 5:30. I didn't realize that Rosita would come to see me because she wanted me to take her home in my car. But I would drive Rosita home every day. And she would say, put the radio on. Oh, this is the next song I'm hearing, the radio. And I remember at that time, TKA was the number one, group. And I'd say, what was the radio? I'm a social person, I'm doing this. And she said to me, come on, you can do it, come on. And she would tell me her problem. And she would say, I don't know what to do about this baby. And I said, Rosina, there's lots of stuff you can do. You can still go to school, you can continue with your dream, your goals, and you can have this baby, and you can look forward to providing that child with a better education. Rosita was the most important case in my life. Because Rosita graduated high school, she went to college, she went to community college, she only had one daughter, and she said to me, I owe it all to you. I owe it to those drives home every day, listening to DKA and listening to you say, you can do it. Now that wasn't a lot of social work. That was just 2 words. You can. You can. Not you can't. I don't think so. Don't. You can. And she filled a gap in my life. Because I realized that through Rosita, I affected a whole generation. This woman is 23 years old, and today she's still global. And she's still active because she continued her education, and she could be a teacher. And I said to myself, my parents had very limited education. They had the heaviest of accents, but they knew they wanted to go forward. They knew they wanted something better for their children. And they pushed us. And I got frustrated, and I didn't want to do certain things. And yes, I wanted to party, and I wanted to go to nightclubs, and yes, I wanted my boyfriend situation to be straightened out and perfect. But I did as I was told. Something in my mind said, where are you going to go after all the nightclubs are over? Where are you going to go after your boyfriend leaves you? What are you going to do if you do have kids? You don't have a job, you don't have an education. I want to be something. I want to find things in life. And that's where I said, not only am I going to affect my life, not only am I going to be in control of my life, I want to help other people be in control of their own. So, please, think about the future. It may sound silly, and you may have a lot of silly remarks to say, like, yeah, I always do, The bottom line is, it's the person that's not listening to it. And it's the person that's not focusing that's not going to make it. Look within yourself. Because sometimes when we make silly remarks and roll the eyes, because we don't want to hear what people are saying to us. Because the reality hurts us. So, my parents struggled to see me accomplish something. And it hasn't been easy, especially being Latina, because there wasn't so much financial aid when I wanted to go to school. How was I going to pay for school? Sure, I would take loans out, but when am I ever going to finish paying for them? How am I going to purchase my books? How am I going to purchase the clothes I want? How am I going to get it? I can take a bus, then the city's up with a bus. To get to school, back and forth, I need to work, because I need money to go out. How am I going to do all these things? Sleeping till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon wasn't going to accomplish. I set forth to do what I thought was best for me, which was to go forward and to get the education I needed in order to succeed in life. And I hope that every single person here remembers one thing. This is all I need to remember. Education is the key to open all doors. Without education, you're not going to go anywhere. Believe me, I've seen it. I've worked in detention houses, York detention houses. guess what? Nobody can touch it. But if you buy a drug, everybody can take it away. And all the things are doing. So remember, you want a future that's everlasting, not a temporary satisfaction where it's quick, easy, and the repercussions are hard. Look for something that you say, education, no one can take anything away from you. And I have the right to speak, and I have the right to be heard, and I'm going to move forward. And no man, no one is going to stop me. Because in 10 years, you're going to say, you know what? I should have went to school. I should have gotten an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, my master's, whatever the situation may be. Because right now, I'm at a dead end. And I have to provide for my kids and my family. So, just remember what I said. Education is the key to all doors. Once you have that key, no one will take that away from you. Wish you all the best of luck. And it was a pleasure meeting everyone as a group. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Wanda. Let's hear it for Wanda. All as Hispanics should be proud of Wanda Alicea. All right. Next, we're going to hear a young Puerto Rican that came here very early in his life, studied very hard. He's going to tell you his story. Please listen to your carefully and let's welcome the Honorable Judge Hector Rodriguez.
Shut up. Don't talk to anybody. And listen, all right? just said, I am a judge. I am a full-time judge at the municipal court in Jersey City. But I also consider you a Hudson County. And Union City also includes Hudson County. Alright? So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and some of the things that I have done and some of the things that you can do if you would like to follow. And some of my things. I don't know what's that shoes you wear. Maybe you might be able to go on my shoes, right? Okay. Sure, you can be a lawyer. You can be an attorney. Why not?
Tony.
Antes que colgártela porque yo me voy a estar moviendo.
Ah,
Yo me voy a estar moviendo porque no es fácil agarrarle fotos aquí moviendo.
pero de aquí, ¿cómo tú lo quieres agarrar?
No, yo lo quiero agarrar con él con la gente. Mientras se me mueve por un lado, yo tengo que moverme. O sea, si usted queda con la cámara fija, se mueve. Va a tener que moverte.
So I was learning the ABCs in the third grade. Remember that song, ABC? Can you imagine learning that in the third grade? And all the girls were laughing at me. Making fun. I'm singing the ABCs in the third grade. I almost walked out as kindergarten. You don't know so many people who have kindergarten, do you? You go to your college, you go back to kindergarten again. All right, you have to go more than this. All right. But you know what happened? I learned the ABCs. Skipping over the second grade. And finally, I graduated from Emerson High, I went to high school, and then I went to college. I majored in political science. I'm Georgia State University. Becoming a doctor of laws, becoming an attorney opens up a lot of doors for you. It opens up a lot of doors. Let me tell you some of the doors that it's opened for me. Now, right now, I'm a full-time judge, and I also teach at Montclair State University. I teach law there. I also teach at Jersey City University, and I also do a seminar once a year at Workers Law School for lawyers. You see all the things I'm able to do because I had a college degree and I had a doctorate degree in law. I also went on and I got a master's degree. I also have a master's degree as well. I didn't need it when I went back and I got that also. So education is the key. Education is the key that opens the door to success. Now, in life, there are certain things you have to remember. Number one, you have to set goals. You have to set objectives. You know what that means to set goals? That means if you want to be a lawyer, that's a goal. Then you have to plan and do the things that you need to do in order to get to your goal. If you want to become an attorney, you know that you got to graduate from high school so you can't drop out. You know you have to go to college, and you know you have to go to law school. So that's part of your plan. Now, I want you to remember something. By the time you leave today, I want you to remember this, and I never, ever want you to forget it. And I want you to repeat it after me. Ready? Faith to plan. Everybody, faith to plan. Planning to fail. You remember that. If you remember that for the rest of your life, you're going to be successful. Failing to plan is planning to fail. That's right. If you don't plan, you know what's going to happen? Your life is going to just be reacting, right? See, the teachers, they have to do lesson plans, right? So they know what they're going to teach you. Before we come up here to speak to you, we got to do a little planning. You have a little sheet here where you make an outline of some things you want to say. Everything in life is all about planning. You have to plan, otherwise when it comes time to doing things, you're not going to know what to do. So it's very important. I'm going to tell you a few do's and a few don'ts, okay? Number one, make sure that you do plan. That's a do. Make sure that you do set goals and objectives. That's a do. Make sure you implement those goals and objectives. You do the things you need to do. Make sure that you overcome obstacles. That means that whenever you set goals and objectives, you're going to have problems. Things are going to come up. You may get sick. You may have no money. Things may happen to try to prevent you from reaching your goals and your objectives. Sometimes you have to have alternative goals or alternative plans. You need to have short-term plans, short-term goals, and long-term goals, right? Sometimes, what would be a short-term goal for you if you want to be a lawyer? Graduate from high school is a short-term goal, right? Once you graduate from high school, the next goal would be to get into college and graduate college, right? So the long-term goal would be to what? Graduate from law school, right? So you see, you need to do these things in order to be successful. Let me tell you, you today are the future of tomorrow. You are going to be the next teachers who are going to be teaching here at Emerson High School or some other school. You're going to be the future lawyers. You're going to be the future doctors. You're going to be the future judges. You're going to be the future police officers, future astronauts, wrestlers. You see, so the future is you. You are the future. So you need to get prepared and get ready for the future. Now, you can be a janitor. It's okay. It's all right. Hey, if that's what you want to do, it's fine. Every job is honorable except selling drugs, right? That you don't want to do. You don't want to get involved in selling drugs. So that's a don't. But don't is stay away from drugs. Don't get involved with any drugs. Anybody offering drugs, you say no. Don't be around people who are selling it, people who are buying it, people who are using it. Stay away from drugs. That's a don't. Stay focused. Stay focused on what it is that you want to do. Stay in school. Very, very important. Make sure you stay in school. Do not drop out of school. Stay away from the wrong crowd. You know the people that are getting into trouble, the people that don't want to study, people don't want to go to school, people that want you to do things that are illegal. Stay away from these people. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. That's right. Be a leader. You lead. And you lead by example, right? Is that what you got to do? That's right. You got to lead by example. You got to do the right thing. Stay away. Stay away from the wrong crowd. Believe me, that will definitely get you into a lot of trouble. You know, my mother dropped out in the 3rd grade. My father dropped out in the 8th grade. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. So that was a big accomplishment in my family. But after me, is no longer any big accomplishment. My children, they're expected to go to college, right? There's an expectation. There's no questions asked. You gotta go to college. You don't go to college for your shoe shine all night. You go to college so you can own your shoe shine company, right? So you have people working for you, right? Now, how many of you would like to be lawyers? Okay, those of you who want to be lawyers, after today, I want you to contact Johnny Torres. Give him your name because we're going to be taking a group of students to the court so that you can spend a day at the court. You can see trials, you can speak to lawyers, you can speak to judges, and you can experience your own experience of a day at the court. They done that. All right. So, how many of you are going to stay away from crime? Stay away from crime. Stay away from drugs. Now let me tell you something. If you fail to stay away from drugs, if you fail to stay away from crime,
that was very weak and the joy. Let's really hear the joy. It's a very wonderful, terrific human being born in Puerto Rico to take time from his bench to come and talk to you, to tell you that education is the key that opens the doors to succeed in life. Now we have another young man. His parents come from Cuba. He's a lawyer. He came to this country when he was only a few months old. But you know what? Despite the fact that he came to this country when he was only a few months old, despite the fact that he made it to college and law school, and today he's a very prominent Cuban lawyer, he dedicates a lot of time for his community. A lawyer here in New Jersey, and he may correct me if I'm wrong, charges, this is the average fee that a lawyer in New Jersey gets is anywhere from $200 to $250 minimum, then to go up. But this man takes time to come and talk to you. He doesn't charge anything. Let's give a wonderful, terrific hand to Ramon de la Cruz.
I say, I'm hoping that if you take anything away, it's the fact that now is the time to do something. Because if you don't do it now, later on, it's going to be more work or double the work. You don't realize it, but when I was here, I didn't realize that. It got a little difficult for me. But I was quite fortunate to have a lot of great people around me, family and friends, and they supported me. And I'm here because of them, and I'm also here because of you. I've lived in Hudson County for a long time, except for months of my life that I spent in Cuba. We came here not because we really wanted to, and by no means do I mean to say that this is a bad country, but we left under political circumstances. My parents had to leave. My brothers, my sisters, my brother and sister left when they were kids too. I was 8 months old when I got to this country. My parents didn't learn English, they didn't know how to speak English, and had to learn English over the years. But at the same time, they had to work, feed, pay rent, all those things that you and I do every day. I was actually going to start my speaking session by asking any of you, all of you, how many people here have wealthy families, millionaire families? How many? Show of hands. Millionaire families. Congratulations. But like the rest of you, you're like me. Can you please be quiet? Like the rest of you, you're like me. I had to work my butt off to get to where I am. And if you think it's easy, think twice. If you're an athlete, think twice again, because that's what you're thinking of being an athlete. You have no education. You don't have any money in the bank, that's why. So education is the key. That's the message. I can't talk about myself. I feel very awkward talking about myself because what I did is not impact what my sister has done, what my brother has done, what my mother has done, what my father has done. That's the pattern to me. And I'm the youngest of 3 kids. And it was because of them, watching them, experiencing what they went through, that I was able to benefit and get to where I am. My parents were the first ones in their own families to actually go to school. Hello? Back there. You. Yeah, you. You gotta listen. It's important. I'm not wasting my time. My parents were the first ones in their family to go to school. They lost everything. My mom was the principal of a school in Cuba. My father had 3 businesses. They had a nice house. They lost everything like that. But the one thing that wasn't taken away, education. They were the first ones to go through schooling, formal school, graduate school. And because of that fact, they were able to make themselves what I think is a huge success in this country, after having lost everything. And I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. Even with education, it wasn't easy. Because when they got here, like I said, my mother was a principal. No school hired her. They said, okay, that counts in Cuba, but not here. And my mom, well, her calling, her purpose in life was to teach children, to help people learn. And for 10 years, she worked in a factory polo. But during those 10 years, and this is what you do, she went to night school. She went to weekend school. My father gave up everything and became a shipping clerk for 5 years. He worked his butt off. I rarely saw my father except on weekends. He wouldn't come home until 9 or 10 p.m. I'm telling you this not to brag or anything like that. I want you to know it's not easy. And I want you to know that I was where you are now, trying to wonder what I'm going to do after high school. Let me just tell you something. Each and every one of you is responsible for your own life. And this is here. And you start doing it by asking questions, going to people like Mr. Chapman, and finding out about careers, about other schools, about scholarships. Don't rule yourself out. I was not a perfect student. Believe me, I was not a perfect student. I wasn't really into the high school scene. I was the last guy anybody thought was going to be a lawyer. My sister, she's a brainiac. She's a judge now. My brother, another brainiac. He's been his own boss for 15 years. He had his own law firm. Me? People said he's funny. He's creative. But that's the point. And you know what? I wasn't too sure about becoming a lawyer. Because I saw what they went through. It was hard. It was hard. I said, that's not for me. Studying every day. You get up at 7 in the morning, sometimes at 5 if you have exams or some kind of project at law school that you have to report on. In law school, it's a little bit different. They give you the book. You go to class. You're responsible for that book. Whether the professor covers that material or not, you're responsible. And you know what? It's one exam. One exam at the end of the semester is going to determine whether or not you pass that class. So you better be working your butt off day in and day out. So now you understand why people get up at 5 in the morning, go to sleep sometimes at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Their whole life is dedicated to studying. It's hard work, guys. But I did it. My sister did it. She's the first judge in Bergen County, Superior Court judge, the first Hispanic woman judge in Bergen County. There's only one other Hispanic judge there. And he's sort of 4 generations removed. Not like my sister. My family, 15 years. So I give them and all of you a lot of credit. I give you a lot of credit because this is my community. I could have moved out. I chose to stay here because I care about the Hispanic community. I care about the community in general, but in Hispanics in particular. Throughout my career, I went to SHool University, graduated there. I didn't plan on being a lawyer, as I said. I took 3 years off. I lived in Tampa, Florida, worked at a TV station. I was a disc jockey. I did a lot of things. I went to acting school for a year in the city. I did a lot of things. I took 3 years off before I decided, now I'm ready for law school. And I went back into law school. And I knew I was ready because I got a taste of what life was like. And I said, you know what? I got to get my JD. For different reasons, personal reasons. I saw what my parents had to put up with when they came to this country. And I saw a lot of stories of other people whose rights were being violated, Hispanics as well as other people in general. And that made me interested. I cared about that. So I went to law school. 3 years of law school. 3 long, hard years. And I graduated. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go back into the media. That's my goal. I want to work in the media because, as you know, when you look at TV, there aren't too many people, I don't know if you know this, but behind the camera, writers, producers, there aren't too many in the newsroom, there aren't too many producing the programs we watch. Even if you look at TV and some of the sitcoms, your favorite sitcoms, you don't see people like us. Not too many like that, right? And if you do see them, you don't see them in success positions. Like this chat, like myself, like Judge Hector Rodriguez. So at least here. So, you know, I'm interested. Those things bother me. And that's why I became a lawyer, because through my practice, and by the way, let me just give you a little hint. Or, I'm my own boss today. I have my own office. People come to me with their problems, I feel like a doctor. Hopefully they leave my office, or at the end of the case, they're better than they were when they came in. That's my goal. But in the interim, I knew that in order for me to be my own boss, to be have my own firm, law firm, I had to get really good experience. And how do you get really good experience out there? There's a lot of type of lawyers out there. Law school is great. You can do so many things with a law degree. You don't even have to be a lawyer. Go into broadcasting. Geraldo Rivera is a lawyer. Howard Cosell, this is before your time as a lawyer. Harley Rose on Channel 13, everybody watches that as a lawyer. There are a lot of lawyers out there that do things that are quite different than day-to-day lawyering. So I knew that I wanted to be my own boss, have my own hours, and select my own clients, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, have the flexibility to do what I'm doing right now. Talking to you guys, trying to mentor you guys, trying to give you guys ideas so that when you leave here, you have a better thought process of what your career path is going to be. Because it started already, guys. It started. So you should be thinking about this. And if you haven't, start thinking now about college, about your work career. Whatever your decision is, make sure it's your own decision, you're happy with it, and then you go 100% and get it done. Because later on, when you're older, you have no clue what awaits you in terms of responsibility. You know, because right now a lot of things are being taken care of. But later on, all the responsibility is on each and every one of your shoulders. So I became a prosecutor here in Hudson County. The reason I'm talking to you a little bit serious-minded is because I used to prosecute juvenile delinquents. I spent 2 years prosecuting kids, and you know what? Not all of them, fallacy, but a lot of kids, in general, get in trouble. Too many, way too many. And I was noticing that a lot of kids were coming in, Hispanic, Latino, from Western Europe, New York City, all around. That's not a good thing, man. Being in trouble in the court system, having a judge tell you what you have to do now, you know, having the judge take the place of your parents, telling you what to do, and in some cases, these kids went to jail. A lot of cases they go to jail. Because some of them think it's cool. I want the judge is cool now. Kick your butt, you know. It's not cool, let me tell you. Which record stays with you for a lifetime. Very encouraged that there are people like Ms. Chapman here and your other teachers who are here supporting this program. These are the people that you should be going to for information. This is your opportunity to seek information, to find out what's out there. Believe me, Union City is not the entire world. New Jersey is not the entire world. It's a whole world that waits opportunities, things to do, people to meet. If ever I can do it, let me know. I do this all the time. All the time. And I'm willing to help. And I hope, I'm going to wrap this up, questions. I hope that my story, my experiences have somehow influenced your thought process so that now you can continue in a better fashion or start thinking of your career path. What am I going to be doing? It's an important question. Thank you.
We have very short time, but I'd like you to ask a couple of questions. Do you have a question for Mr. A question? No questions? We have a question for whom? Isaiah, she is a teacher. Right now she is a member of the vice chairman of the Board of Education in the program. She has a struggle. Any other questions? All right. Let me close by saying this to you. In essence, you heard 3 Hispanic professionals who went through the formal education, and the country of origin should not be an obstacle to pursuing your dream. Think also of the fact that you have infinite potential just because you are children of God. Not because you're Hispanic, not because you are Afro-American, not because you are Italian or Irish, whatever. You have infinite potential because you are children of God. And you have the ability to accomplish in life whatever you want. And life is about choices. Life is about choices, and you heard Mr. Bruce tell you should take responsibility for your life. The things that go wrong in your life is not because of the teachers, it's not because of the school, it's not because of government, it's not because of your friend, it's because of you. Life is about choices. And let me close by saying to you that you will never improve beyond the image that you hold of yourself. I'd like to thank the administration of Emerson High School. I'd like to thank
Once again, on behalf of all of us at Emerson, we thank you, Mr. Torres, and certainly we thank the guest speakers for taking of their time and coming.
There's something in my mind when I say that the lawyers in New Jersey charge from $200 to $250 minimum. I didn't say it's per hour. So imagine how much it costs ministers that are going to be here helping us. Let's give the speakers a big hand.
We approximately have 6 minutes. What I do ask you to do is to remain seated for the next 6 minutes. And please, I am a little bit disheartened because I know that it's something that came at the last minute. Nonetheless, I do expect you to cooperate. We will certainly have a few more assemblies, and we will certainly have a few more guest speakers coming to us between now and the end of the year. And what I'd like to do is certainly send out the best image of Emerson High School, because your reflection is not only of yourselves, but of the building, and obviously of all of us here as educators. So in the future, I ask you to refrain from talking and think a little bit more about your behavior as individuals. You certainly would like the same decency and courtesy afforded to you if you were here speaking to the audience. So I do thank you, I thank the teachers, and please remain seated for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.